Sapta prana prabhavanti tasmat saptarchishaha samidha sapta homaha sapta ime loka yeshu charanti prana guhashaya nihita sapta sapta. Very famous mantra. He says, from him emerges the seven pranas. Everything is sapta sapta. Everything is sevenfold. So from him emerges the seven pranas, the vital air, the seven flames, the seven fuels, the seven oblations, these seven worlds, where the pranas located in the heart move sevenfold. So this mantra and the next mantra is talking about the emergence of the microcosm and the macrocosm. As I said, a lot of it needs attunement. You need to attune to the frequency of the text. Otherwise, you may not find a logical explanation, but you need to have that feel. You need to relate to it. Sidhuji is clarifying something. He's saying, what are the scriptural injunctions? The scriptural injunctions are the Vedic truths that we are learning, the Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma are the scriptural injunctions, the Vedic truths that we are trying to learn. Which are the authority, like Vedanta. Vedanta, when we say here, is a knowledge which talks about life and living. So this text is an authority about the principles that govern life. Like when we do, the corporate programs, we say the laws that govern life. There are laws which govern the world. There are laws which govern the individual. So a subject which deals with the laws which govern the individual is Vedanta. And these laws are explained in these Shastras. So when you follow the scriptural injunctions, you abide by the laws, and then you lead your life, life becomes purposeful and meaningful. Imagine one who is devoid of this Vedic knowledge or scriptural injunctions, one who's ignorant of these laws. What would happen, sir? One who's ignorant of these laws. Sithuji? Yeah, we can hear you.
Will suffer. Life of suffering and pain and suffering.
Yeah, but when you don't know the laws, what would invariably somebody do?
What, Guruji?
Like when you don't know the law, for example, you go to a foreign land,
yeah,
and you're trying to do business there, or you're trying to do an activity there. Yeah. They go to a foreign land. Yeah. So if I am in a foreign country, I am given permit to enter and stay in the country based on a certain visa. Simple logic. But if you go and you do things which you're not permitted to do on that visa, if I go as a tourist and start doing business, doing certain professional activities, I will be prosecuted because I have broken the law of that land. So just as we understand the objective laws and the price one pays for not abiding by the laws, exactly the same way as the objective or the external laws, there are this bundle of subjective laws which are governing us.
It's the manual for life. Yeah.
The manual to life, absolutely. So the scriptural injunctions talks about the laws which govern our life. And if you don't abide by them, The law itself punishes you.
Cause and
You don't have the cause and effect takes over. You don't have to be punished by somebody. The law itself punishes us. So therefore, it is paramount. It is so essential to learn these scriptural injunctions.
I just wanted to know, Guruji, anything, any list is there, or it is or the fundamental laws? It's like cause and effect, karma theory is one.
Gayatri, in the question number, incorporate பண்ணலாமா? என்ன ஆரம்? புதுசா ஒரு question கேக்குறாங்க. We'll try to add this and put the, but we did mention this somewhere, didn't we? In the past, Gayatri ma?
More not on this like not on scriptural values like this directly, no.
In the corporate program, you have covered this annual of life somewhat.
Yes, but is there a specific list of all the laws which govern individual? There is no specific list as such.
But some basic fundamental laws which again there will be sub laws come out of those laws only. But like cause and effect is a karma theory is a fundamental.
The law of karma and the law of destiny, or the law of destiny and law of karma arise from law of causation. That is one law. Other law is the law of attachment. As we just spoke, as you think, so you become. The third, you can say, the law which governs is you get what you deserve, not what you desire. Another law is anything that is forced is never forceful. The fifth law is the way to gain anything is to lose it. Example, the phenomenon of colors. The sixth law is attach, you lose, detach, you gain. Seventh law.
Without pain, there is no gain. Same method.
Which one, sir?
Without pain, there is no gain.
Sidhuji's law.
And there is whatever is poison in the beginning becomes nectar in the end.
Correct. So another law is anything that is pleasure in the beginning is poison at the end. So Gayatri, 7 laws, one that there. Puruma.
Bits and pieces there are, like cause and effect, karma is there, attachment, detachment is there, what you gain is bits
So
and
as a whole, we could capture this. NRM?
It's a concise look at the whole thing, Guruji.
Yes, concise look at the whole thing. And yes, in fact, Ashrama is saying conscience, you know, what can we say, a law of the conscience? Yes, Ashrama?
Do what your conscience allows you to do. It tells you in a very faint voice. You have to listen to it.
Why faint? It's a very strong voice. Why faint?
Because the sound around you is so loud.
No, just because the sound around you is loud doesn't mean the conscience becomes feeble. Nah, the conscience can be as loud, in fact, more louder than every other voice within and outside.
We might miss hearing it sometime.
Guruji, we are
Possible.
buried with the impurities. So the voice.
One who is buried in impurities may not be able to heed the conscience.
And this sin leads to agitation, mental agitation. When you, what is
See, when you say it's a law, you have to, can we call it as a law? That's what we are saying. You know, there are certain principles that that explain concepts. Like what causes agitation? Agitation is caused because of your wrong relationship with the world. It's not the world that agitates you, it's your wrong relationship. That we can say, but can I say it's a law of life?
this is some of them can be corollaries. See, there is a theorem, there is a corollary.
Right.
Some of them can be.
But when you want to present laws, we have to present these the main theorems or main principles. Any other law that comes to your mind? Anybody? Gayatri, can you repeat what are the 7 laws we just spoke about?
First is this karma, cause and effect. Second is attachment.
No,
And,
first is law of causation, which talks about
Causation.
law of destiny and law of karma.
Second is we said attachment. And third is you get what you deserve and what you desire.
Not what you.
What is forced is never forceful. Anything you gain is to you gain anything by losing it. That is the color phenomena. And prayas and shreyas, that is poison in the beginning and nectar in the end.
6, huh?
Law of consciousness.
Attachment was something, and this conscious what she was telling, like, you know, but
Attach, you lose; detach, you gain.
detach you again, yes.
That is that is different to way to gain anything is to lose it. That is different. So 7 laws we got, isn't it?
Hmm.
So if we apply ourselves and think that perhaps there could be more that could be added to. Yes, Samyama?
Guruji, one more we can add is what you sow, so shall you reap. But that is cause and effect, or
Cause and effect. Law of life is action is the insignia of life. Inaction is death. 8th law.
Action is
The insignia of life. Inaction is death. We can't hear you, Samyama. I'm afraid we can't hear you. The 9th law is a law of neutralization. See, 9 laws we got, sir. We keep thinking maybe we get a few more. I'm sure we could get a few more. But it's not given in a single capsule anywhere. This is through the study of the scriptures and shastras, you understand the concepts and you relate to it, and then you see, yes, it is exactly of functioning in the world. So we don't invent these laws, we will discover these laws. So through the study of the scriptures, we discover how our life is helplessly governed by all these impeccable laws. So these laws are functioning impeccably. And what is the price one pays of ignorance is unparalleled. The price one pays is phenomenal. Therefore, we have no choice but to read the scriptural injunctions. Satchitananda. What is that, sir?
We are always happy and at peace already. We are Satchitananda. We are the truth. We are because we don't know that we are an extension of the Lord. We are our conscience is of Brahman. That is what the scripture entire all the roar that.
Sir, a law is something which can be proven. Now, how do you prove to anybody that you are Brahman? Until you experience it. If any of those 9 laws we took, I can prove it to you. Even to the most ignorant fellow, I can logically prove it to them. But how do I say that you and I are extension of that all-pervading Brahman? There must be that element of faith. There must be the element of bhavana to be able to relate to it. If I bring in an atheist into this classroom, and how would he relate to that statement? You may be convinced, but would you be able to convince him logically? So when I say a law of life, it is something which can be perceived and it can be convinced. You can intellectually relate to it and they can logically explain to it.
Self-realized souls has demonstrated.
But as I'm saying, I am with you. Everybody in this classroom will be with you on that. But those who cannot relate to, how will you logically convince them?
This is for advanced seekers.
Advanced law. No, can we create a law on happiness? What is a law on happiness?
Anytime you are unselfish or selfless leads to happiness. You feel good. You feel
So the law of life is no giver is secure. So no taker is secure, no giver is insecure. The law of life. Is a challenge. So when you say a law, you can challenge anybody. I'll challenge you to go and test it out for yourself. No taker is secure, no giver is insecure. It's a law of life. What's the law? (109). Okay, Setuji?
Yeah.
You're strict, you can add a couple of more, sir. A few more you can add, sir. Huh? Right, sir. So the 8th mantra, from him emerged the 7 pranas. Now here there is no logical explanation, no logical reason to explain all this. As I said, it's only attunement. So what are the 7 pranas? Is talking about the vital air and all the activities of the organs of action. The organs of action, the mind and intellect, here refers to 7 pranas. The 7 flames refers to the internal activities, which are the organs of perception, the mind and intellect. The 7 fuels refers to the conscious centers, which animate the above activities. The conscious centers are known as sense centers. The sense centers, where are the sense centers for organs of perception? Vasantama? The 7 fuels refers to the sense centers.
Organs of perception.
Yeah. So sense centers. So the organs of perception and organs of action both have sense centers. Now my question is, where are the sense centers for organs of perception?
The eyes, ears.
Okay, what are the organs of perception?
The eyes, ears, nose, touch, skin. No.
Now, the sense centers are the eye and the eye. Yeah?
But we see things.
Now, sense center, is it in the sense organ?
Oh, sense center. I was
Ah.
mentioning sense organs.
Sense organs is clear. I'm saying the question is, where are the respective sense centers for organs of perception and organs of action? So to start with, we're saying organs of perception. Where are the sense centers located?
In your mind.
Are you left with no choice but to choose the mind? Are you sure? I think the answer because came out of deduction, not assertion. Aram, where do the sense centers for organs of perception locate?
It is the eye of the eye, that which enables the eye to perceive. The ear of the ear, that which enables the ear to
That
hear.
is Brahman. When you say eye of the eye, it's a Brahman, no? We're not talking of sense center is not Brahman.
I have no idea. Guruji.
GM.
Thoughts.
uh,
Our thoughts.
Sense centers are located in the mind only, Guruji.
Sure. Huh?
Yes.
See, Vasantama, when you say with conviction, I accept the answer. So the sense centers for the organs of perception are located in the mind. And where are the sense centers for organs of action? Amitama,
In the intellect, sir,
explain yourself.
because your intellect gives you the right choices and judgment for what action to take. So it animates right action.
It animates is the right word. You become conscious of your actions. Like when you're speaking, you're going to think before you speak. Hands and feet is organs of action. You know, even organs of evacuation, you know, when you go into the toilet, washroom, many people have this bad habit. Now it's become everywhere we go, except shower. I hope they don't put the phone in a plastic cover and see while they're showering also. But many a time they carry their newspaper, magazines, and phones into to the washroom. And especially when you're sitting on the ball, and if your mind is occupied with something else, you can't pass the stool. I'm telling because organs of evacuation is one of the organs of action. So in order to perceive, you need your mind to back. Like as I'm talking now, if your mind is somewhere else, even though sound is audible, you don't register what is being said because mind has gone off the present moment. So when the mind backs this perception of sound, that's when the sound is registered. Like sometimes you may be looking at someone, staring, until somebody has to alert you and say, hey, why are you staring at me? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. So the person is sitting across the table and you're staring at that person. Until you're pointed out, you don't realize that you're staring. Why? You're not looking at that person. Your eyes are just perceiving that person, but your mind is somewhere else. So there is no registration of the perception of the person sitting few feet away across the table. So these examples justify that sense centers of organs of perception and the mind. Only when the mind backs, the perception is complete. To register a perception. So registration of perception is complete only when the mind backs it. Now an action is complete when the intellect backs. So the sense centers for the intellect are in the, for organs of action are in the intellect. Okay. Then he talks of 7 oblations. 7 oblations are the yajnas. Now in the 4th chapter of the Gita, from verses 31 to 37, he talks about the 12 yajnas. The 12 yajna is, he converts action into 3 facets. He converts action into receipt, reaction, response. He dissects action into 3 parts. It's like you take a cake and you say 3 portions. So there is a receipt, there's reaction, there's response. So how to convert receipt of stimuli into worship? How to convert reaction into worship? How to convert responses into worship? For example, how do I convert my responses into worship? Responses is, how do I act? He says, the very famous verse, Dravya yajñās, tapo yajñāः, yoga yajñās, tatha pare, swadhyaya jnana yajñāscha, yataya samshita vratāः. He says the 4 types of yajñas, the 4 types of services a man can render: Dravya yajña, tapo yajña, yoga yajña, and swadhyaya jnana yajña. Means a physical service, emotional service, material service, etc. So what are you doing there? You're converting your responses into worship. So 7 oblations refers to the 7 yajnas. The 7 worlds are the realms of experiences arising out of the oblations. Again, you can go into the detail what these worlds are, but you got to take it philosophically. There is no real significance. Okay. Where the pranas located in the heart move 7-fold. So everything is sapta, sapta, sapta. So when you perform these yajnas, you are transported into the 7 worlds, leading you right up to enlightenment. So when you do Dravya yajna, you may get some Brahmaloka, Ramloka you get. But if you do Swadhyaya Jnana Yajna, you get moksha, liberation. So the worlds that you experience. So in that sense, he's saying the 7 worlds. Okay, right. Mantra 9, please. Perfect, Samyama. The law of Amitama, yes, you want to say something. Maybe one more law we can add, Gayatri Ma. The law of life is your mind should be at rest while your body is in action. An ideal action is your mind should be at rest while your body is engaged in action. In a Kanpungu, the law 11 points. Sorry. Yes, Samitama.
So my question just now on the 7 saptas here on mantra 8, it says here that all these 7-fold activities are said to emerge from the heart of the person. Is this the physical heart? Are we saying that it comes, Yeah. So what is the heart here, sir?
Heart means the core.
The core. Okay.
What is the heart of the problem? When you say the heart, you say, what is the exact problem? In English language, when you say heart, oh, I am in the heart of the city.
Hmm.
I was at the heart of the epicenter, means where exactly that event happened. So heart means the very core. So where everything has emerged, he says, it has emerged from me, he says. Brahman, as I said, everything has emerged from Brahman. So he's attributing the 7 pranas, everything. See, first line he says, from him emerged the prana. From prana, everything else has come out. So indirectly, prana itself has emerged from Brahman, no?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Right. Pushpama, you're following everything, Pushpama? No doubts at all, huh? Mantra 9. अथ समुद्रागिरयश्च सर्वेऽस्मात् स्यन्दन्ते सिन्धवः सर्वरूपाः अथश्च सर्वा ओषधयो रसश्च येनैष भूतैस्तिष्ठते ह्यन्तरात्मा अथ समुद्रागिरयश्च सर्वेऽस्मात् स्यन्दन्ते सिन्धवः सर्वरूपाः अथश्च सर्वा ओषधयो रसश्च येनैष भूतैस्तिष्ठते ह्यन्तरात्मा. Now here he talks of the macrocosm. So from him emerged the samudra, giraya, the mountains, and the sindhava, the rivers that syandante, which flow out of various forms, various rivers of various forms, and from him issue forth all herbs, oshadhaya, and the sap, rasa, by which indeed this inner self exists amidst the elements. The inner self is the antaratma. Bhutehu. Bhutaha refers to elements. Tishthate exists. Word to word meaning. If you know what it is, you'll understand. So you look at the tone with which he's talking. He's not compromising. He's saying what you must understand. How do you understand this? Again, I said last week, how should you understand this? The dreamer, the dreamer's wife, the dreamer's home, the dreamer's children, the dreamer's grandchildren, the dreamer's business, the dreamer's world, everything is nothing but the waker's mind. So if the waker is describing all the experiences and all aspects of the dream, would he not say everything is the waker's mind? Exactly the same way, he is saying everything is Brahman, Brahman. The mountains that you see is Brahman. The ocean. So there's a connection. He says that the ocean, the water vapor rises, forms clouds. The clouds, when they give rain, they flow down the mountains into the valleys through the rivers. When the rivers come from the mountains into the valleys, into the plains, it nourishes the ground, and the herbs are digested. Issue forth herbs. And that produces seeds in humans. It continues the next generation. Even the fifth mantra, he said the same thing. But if you see, it is a sap from which the Supreme Being comes from the transcendental to the terrestrial. How the Supreme Being exists amongst the gross elements of matter. So there is a connect. There is a connect from the oceans to the clouds, to the mountains, to the rivers, the herbs, the plant, life. Not only here, we took the reference of the agricultural metaphor. What we lack is the ability to relate to it. Otherwise, philosophically, it's pure music. Don't we say that when we get connected with nature, don't we relate to Brahman? The more you are close to nature, the more you can see the grandeur of Brahman. You can see the majestic. That's what they are saying. Everything is Brahman. So you just get away from the hush bush of the world, of your din and row of the marketplace, and get into the nature. You can relate to Brahman. You read Ramatirtha, he also says Vedanta is there in the mountains, is there in the birds that chirp, the flowing rivers, the brooks, the plants, the blowing breeze. He says Vedanta is written all over, Vedanta is everywhere. Everything is Brahman. So it's not some kind of a madness, but that experience which I've had of not long ago, just being in the mountains and just that sheer grandeur and the magnitude hits you so hard, but you can't but appreciate the sheer majesty, the sheer glory of the self. There's a direct connection. It's not that you're somehow trying to put a needle, a thread through a needle where there's no hole. There's a direct connect. You're able to relate to it. What is that, Rajima?
Guruji, one does not need to go away from where you are, sunrise and sunset. You can divinize anything, Guruji. The birds and the beasts are seen in our own homes, on the trees. Sunrise and sunset is viewed anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, you can sleep in the bed, open the window, and you can see from the bed also sunrise, sunset.
Not possible in a city, Guruji. Seldom possible in a city, but
no, I get what you're saying. It is not trying to make it less divine here, but when they are talking of, Girayaha, the mountains, you are able to see whatever said and done, the Himalayan ranges where the laboratory where these great men had discovered the truth. So it has an association. Uma in the Shastras is a daughter of Himavan.
less distractions there, Guruji. It's just so serene and calm. You can stay more focused.
Association.
Yes, it's the association.
It's just association that connects. So in the Shastras, there's a direct mention of Himavan. The daughter of Himavan is Uma. Uma is knowledge. The knowledge of Vedanta is born in the Himalayan ranges. So there's direct and indirect philosophical connect there. So, and I'm just falling back to that experience, and you're able to relate to it. So it's more, so again, it's not that it's not there, but when you go through that, when you experience it, there's a certain connect. There's a certain association. That's what I'm saying. So the benefit is you all don't have that experience which I'm relating to. Not that you have not experienced it all, but I'm talking of that emotional connect to an experience, which is what we are saying, that we don't have an emotional connect to the concepts here, because we are all the time trying to draw a philosophical message or implication. What is the emotional connect to these words we are lacking? Therefore, I'm just drawing a parallel there. As yes, Siddhiji is privately messaged me. I don't know why he privately messages me. There's nothing private about the message. He says the astronauts, the astronomers, especially the astronauts, those who go out of space and they just awed by the mere sunrise or the sunset or the views from outer space. So similar experience, we can't relate to it until we experience it. Okay. All he's saying is it is the sap. The Supreme Being is the sap which exists. All right. So the attempt is that we all should try and see beyond the words what the spirit is trying to be conveyed. All right. Okay. We'll come back. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om.